in the morning. Let's talk about fish, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about fish. Let's talk about fish.
Hi there.
Hello. Good morning.
Let's talk about fish, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about fish. Let's talk about fish.
Hey, Joey.
Hello, Father Fish. Good morning.
How are you? Good
How are
morning.
you?
Good morning. Good. Nice to see you.
Oh,
Good to be with everybody
you.
in the chat today.
Yes.
Nice to see you all. Yeah. Hope
Yes,
you had a great
welcome to
weekend.
SHOAL.
Great. Welcome to the show. Great weekend. I see.
That's right.
Oh. Let's see. I'm just trying to remember. Chase.
Remember
Right.
what?
Chase just gave it Chase's name. And I'm so bad with this stuff. Chase just came in. So I
What
gotta he'll keep himself.
your new
I do him right.
Okay. The new young man that's working there at the store. Well, that's nice. Is he good with everything? Is he good with the animals and the fish?
Yeah, he's real
Nice.
good. In fact, Thomas said, he's gonna take my job because he proceeded to clean all the tanks, sweep the floor, and pick up the mess. Day one.
There you go.
So that was
you
good.
Know, somebody that cleans up after themselves is, a good thing.
Worth their weight in gold, Lord knows. I'm just looking at a comment. A new video came out this morning. This is in the notifications. It's a comment on a new video we just did. The video is on how to get your wife/husband involved in your hobby. This is a conversation we had on Friday, and I decided to make a video out of it. It's a two-parter. How to do it, and then division of labor. Anyway, a follower named Donkey Love replied, Father Fish, my old man, I guess meaning his father, has had tanks forever and thinks that the deep substrate method is unnecessary and dangerous. He says old dog's about to learn new tricks from his grandson, I think. So it's his grandfather. That's interesting. Yeah, well, that's an old part. I can appreciate that. Right.
Right.
I'm one too.
He's going to start his own tank.
Right. Teach his grandfather how to
I'm
keep
no spring chick either, so
years. Right, I know. It's funny. Well, it's not an either or. But I have never intended this to be an either or. It's not an either or.
I think it would be interesting for him to do his own tank and just show him how it works. That's
that's
the best way.
I think that's what he's doing. Right.
Exactly. Give him a great example of how well it's working.
Right.
So,
it's like Catfish Terry is here. Hello, Catfish Terry.
Oh, probably. That's right, Craig. No rest for the wicked.
Karuna
How'd you
Karen
know I was wicked?
Jean Campbell. Hello, Jean. I think Jean Campbell is due a wrench.
I
Jean
think so too.
Campbell
I think
has a wrench. She's got one. It just isn't showing up. Let me remove it.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, I feel like we tried to give her one before. There's a few people that we have tried and they don't seem to show up. Well, Cassie being one.
Right.
Can't ever seem to give Cassie a blue wrench.
And
there are others, and I'll say to you.
Egberto Solario Jr. Hello, Father Fish. My first time in your YouTube live. Well, welcome, Egberto. Delighted to have you.
Yes, welcome.
Hang around, enjoy, get involved, be a part of this show. Peter Kratz.
Absolutely.
Hello from Germany. Hello, Peter. Nice to have you. I love the European contingent.
Yeah.
This is a perfect time of day for them.
Absolutely.
Mid-afternoon.
Right. Brienne's commenting on her betta breeding.
Yeah, seeing. I'm seeing.
It has been 48 hours. My male and female bettas have been together. Male is destroyed and rebuilt the nest. No eggs. I'm getting worried. I mean, if they're not fighting, then he's not going to hurt her. But yeah, I might take her out, start over, condition them a little bit more.
Yeah, her eggs may not be ready.
Right.
She may not be ready. Well, if you should see a white spot at the ovipositor. If you see a tiny white spot on the female at the ovipositor, that's the anus, or in that vicinity. Then that means she's ready to spawn. Yeah. So if you don't, not ready.
Right. But I would just take them out. Don't let them see each other. Condition them again. Start the process over.
Yeah, give it another day.
Because they should have spawned. Yeah. They usually spawn right away if they're.
You want to feed the female live food, whatever you can. Brine shrimp, black worms, Daphne, mosquito larvae, whatever you can manage. You can also feed like tiny pieces of, very tiny pieces of fish or chicken, very tiny. You want to get her eggs developing, and that's what you need. You need protein to be able to do that. She ought to be fat, and she ought to have an egg spot. And if she does, they'll go right away. So no need to worry. Just separate them and feed her up again. Give it another couple of days, and then introduce them again, and they'll go.
I would start over.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, occasionally you get a male and female that don't work together. But keep trying.
Oh, J-Dog's coming down.
Yes.
Wonderful.
And James had a question for you. He just said the other day you were talking about selling the shop and heading north. Will you still be doing YouTube? And that's a good question.
Yes, absolutely. Jane, I don't know why that happens. It's not because you're not a member. I have no idea. There are a few people it's happening with. One of whom is Cass, who's with us all the time.
Right.
Can give her a wrench, it'll show up. Next time it comes up, it won't be there. There's something glitchy about YouTube and that account or whatever. It means nothing. You still have all of the privileges because it's showing that you do have the wrench. When I open account to look, it says you have a wrench. It says you are a whatever it's called, a moderator.
Right, a moderator. Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know because there are a few people I keep asking you and you say, yes, I did it.
Yeah, right. Who's James? James Handy.
So okay, I know we got we're
Greg
distracted
is
with
saying
these wrenches
because you put James is
because they just
yeah,
don't work
Greg.
out.
Greg is saying just because you put a male and female bedded together does not mean they will breed. True enough. True enough.
Well, that's what I was
they
just saying. I was saying they don't always work out. Yeah.
the female has to be ready. The male does too, for that matter. If he's not healthy, if he's in a weakened state, he's not going to have the stamina or the interest, frankly, to do it. So they both need to be vigorous, healthy, and strong to be able to spawn.
But you do occasionally get a male and female that do not like each other, and they won't spawn. It does happen.
Right. True enough.
So do you want to elaborate a little bit more on what you'll be doing with your YouTube when you move to Maryland?
Well, yeah.
What your plans are.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I will continue to do the morning stream and probably the weekend. That will not change. But I will also do a channel, a Catoctin Mountain channel. So I'll be doing videos on the zoo itself.
Oh, nice.
About the animals and the people there and so forth. That'll be a completely separate channel. What I anticipate with is that what this is going to do, if I'm able to make this transition, it will give me a much stronger venue, a much more stable and, how can I say it, scientific, professional, whatever venue. A venue where I'll have tanks set up that don't have plants and fish being pulled out of it all the time. I'll be able to have tanks that are operational long term. So, we'll be able to move into the future with these systems and really get a feel for how tanks mature. And that's part of what I want to be able to do. So it'll be my intention is that it will significantly and substantially improve the quality of what I'm doing now, and should be of greater interest. So I'm looking to continue the channel, to continue building it, to take it, if you will, to a higher level. So that's the intention and the plan. We'll see how it all works out. The first step will be getting a few tanks set up, and getting the greenhouse built. So, and that's all. None of that has started yet. So, probably we'll be watching that whole process emerge. And I will be featuring on this channel. I will be featuring other aspects of the zoo. So I want to be able to give this channel and the followers on this channel the opportunity to be able to see what's happening there as well. So, but I think it'll be important for the sake of the zoo to have their own stream, their own channel, and to be able to do specialized videos on what's happening at the zoo. Anyway, it'll be very exciting, and I think open up some new vistas for all of us. So excited about the possibility. Peter Kratz, do you believe in overfiltering? Nice. You know what's interesting? My video on filtering had a comment in which I was reputed to be saying, I love to flirt. And I tried to find that comment, and I could not find it.
What does that have to do with filtration?
Well, I do love to flirt. I think the word was filter and not flirt. I sit here flirting with Joey all day, and she doesn't notice. Yes, she does. She notices. She's just a good sport
Hey,
about it.
I don't miss all the trains.
Let's the old man have his day. Ah,
Anyway, making me laugh.
Peter Kratz. Do you believe in
Oh
over?
boy.
I own a 100-gallon tank with a 30-gallon sump with sponges. Since I lowered the power of my pump from 4 to 1.5 times, I noticed better plant growth. That's really interesting, Peter. Part of here's the issue. Let me translate it to another word. A saltwater reef tank. A saltwater reef tank has coral in it. Coral is an animal that lives in simpatico with plants, actually algae. And the algae are taken in by the pump action of the coral and deposited, or they deposit themselves on the interior walls of the coral cell. Not cell, but body. It's the interior walls of the individual coral. That's where the color comes from in the coral. It's actually the algae in the coral that gives it its color. But more to the point, that plant then feeds on the water that the coral is pumping through its body. And it feeds on the nutrients, obviously, in the water column and releases sugars that become part of the food, the food demand or food process of the coral itself. So they're essentially farming algae. The coral is farming algae in order to produce food for itself. Obviously, then, the water needs to have nutrients in it in order for the algae to be able to feed. Question: what is the function of a protein skimmer in a saltwater tank? The function of a protein skimmer is to remove proteins. What do algae feed on? Among other things, proteins. So, unless the tank is very heavy with proteins, removing them is going to starve the algae and not allow the corals to grow. Coral growth occurs best where there is no protein skimmer, because the protein skimmer removes the very things that the algae need in order to be able to grow and feed the corals. Now let's transpose that over to freshwater. Freshwater plants, like the algae, require a certain amount of nutrients in the substrate and in the water column in order to be able to thrive. Excuse me. By removing through filtration those nutrients from the water column, there is the potential, if not the likelihood, of reducing the amount of nutrition that is available to the plants. Now, the reality is there is typically far more nutrition in the water column than the plants need in order to survive and thrive. So having, for example, a sponge filter or a hang on the back filter or even a sump on your tank is not necessarily going to substantially reduce the amount of nutrition that is available to the plants. Unless you are significantly underfeeding and really working at creating a fully balanced environment. If you are, then you need to reduce filtration because you want to allow as much of those nutrients to stay in the system as possible and not deplete the system. So, for example, if you're feeding heavily, then filtration is important because it reduces the amount of available proteins and other nutrients to a level where they're not going to cause substantial algae blooms or other kinds of problems. If, on the other hand, you're feeding very sparingly, then you want to reduce filtration to a level that makes it possible for the plants and animals that are in there to take full advantage of the nutrition that is available. Okay.
Are you all done with that one?
I'm all done with that one.
I have a question from Kenneth Young. When mixing ingredients for dirt, should I mineralize it or put it directly into the tank to be kept?
Yeah, let it mineralize in the tank. It's a process called chelation. And it will occur if you cap it adequately. Chelation will occur. Chelation is simply there are not a lot of good words to explain it. The softening. It's what happens when elements or compounds mix it up with each other and interact. They cause in time a breakdown of those compounds into their various components. That's a chelation process where they become stable together, and where they then become accessible to plant roots, for example, as nutrition. So that will happen in the tank. Usually the first couple of months, the first month or two of a dirted tank sees a lot of activity, a lot of bubbling, a lot of bubble, toil and trouble, a lot of stuff going on down in that substrate where all these chemicals are interacting with each other. Eventually, it kind of slows down and mellows out, and they all chelate and become their component parts, or whatever their final compound is going to be, that achieves stability. And it's that stability and that, again, not a lot of good words to explain it. I never took courses in science, so I don't know the language, but I'm sure there are very effective words in scientific language, particularly in the field of biology, that explain this process. And maybe somebody with a better scientific background could help with that. I would appreciate it. In any case, I think you've got the idea. Don't worry about that early stage. So long as you have an adequate cap on there, it's not going to cause a problem. It's only if that sand isn't deep enough and you start getting eruptions of dirt, which you will see in by the water becoming dirty. If it does, then you need to add more sand. Get it down, staying down in there where it belongs, and it'll be fine. It'll take care of itself. It'll sort itself out, and will then become a richer and richer environment.
Yes. David Samsel had a question. He says, and it goes along with what you were already talking about, but I always wondered if filter flow is too high, it might affect the efficiency of the aerobic bacteria / nitrogen cycle. Any thoughts?
Well, it could, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Mainly,
I think you could definitely overfilter a tank.
Yeah, it's a balancing act. Filtration needs to be. Here's the problem. If your goal is to create a sterile environment or as clean an environment as possible with the least amount of life in that tank as possible, then over filtering is a primary tool for achieving that. In fact, if you're trying to do that, you should also hook up a UV sterilizer that will kill anything organic that's coming through the water column, going through that device. If that's your goal, excuse me, you're never going to have a balanced tank. You'll never have really a healthy tank. What you will have is a clean tank. There are problems, as I've described, with super clean tanks. One of the primary ones of which is the potential for monoculture, the potential for something slipping in there that doesn't much care about your cleaning ability and thinks, aha, I found a way around that, and I'm going to explode in this tank because I got control, and that happens. That's when you get a bacteria bloom that turns the water white. And I'll tell you something, you're playing Russian roulette. You may get away with this for years until something finally triggers, something finally happens that just blows the whole system out of the water. If you're willing to take that risk, pulling the trigger and pulling the trigger and pulling the trigger and pulling the trigger, knowing full well there's a live cartridge in that gun, but you keep pulling the trigger and pulling the trigger, don't ever feel safe because you're not safe. You may get away with it for a long time, but eventually it's going to go off.
Yep.
You're going to hit that cartridge, and that animal that has the ability to circumvent all of your devices is going to get in there, and it's going to wreak havoc. And it does happen. I have people tell me, I've been doing this for years and never had a problem. And my answer is always the same. You've been playing Russian roulette and you finally lost. So you want to do it again? You want to get back up on that horse, that wild bronco, and ride until he throws you again? Go for it. But you don't have to do that. So,
right.
Gloria Rodriguez, I cleaned my gravel yesterday. Father Fish is right.
I was just going to read you that.
Definitely need to cap it with sand. There you go. Go Oreo. You betcha. And if you do, you will never have to gravel that again.
Exactly. And don't touch it before you add the sand. Don't clean it again.
Right. Yeah, leave all that dirt in there. That's good stuff.
Did you see Johan's comment?
I went to the pet shop on my way.
I went to the pet shop on my way home. Yep, from work.
Picked up
some Corey's, and my girlfriend wanted me to buy some of that ice cream at the exit. Oh, that's hilarious. I hope you were a good boy when you brought home the ice cream.
That's funny.
Oh, funny.
Well, that's funny.
You know, you got to keep her happy. If that's all, if that's all it takes.
What flavor? If that's what gets her approval for you going to the pet shop.
Exactly. If that's what gets you a thumbs up. Oh, and speaking of thumbs up, can everyone give Father Fish a thumbs up if they haven't, please? But yeah, I mean, you know, take the path of least resistance.
Aquafunk, I love playing Russian roulette, but when I play it, I play with super soakers filled with red Kool-Aid.
Oh, That's mean. Red
Funny,
Kool-Aid.
funny. Filled with red Kool-Aid. Well, at least it's not a red dye. Kool-Aid will wash
Yeah,
off it.
Aquafunk. I hope you put sugar in that Kool-Aid.
Yeah, really.
Oh, funny,
Funny stuff.
funny.
You go Holsoy. I
Yeah.
can't say this one. Holsoyan. Holsoyan.
I don't know.
Man,
Yeah.
I can't do that one. Holshoot.
I can't do.
Sure. Shul. The IJ, I think, is an L sound. Sen. Senegat. Holagat.
Well, I didn't even attempt.
Sweet. Sweetelson. Duco Schwedelson. How's that? Schwedelson. Is that bad? Is that terrible?
Wait, whole shoot.
Schwedelson.
I don't know. Okay, just read the question. We can't get the. We're sorry. We're sorry.
Yeah. No, we're not. I'm not
I'm trying to be nice here.
And my female Grammy. I've been able to get Sandy Caput because I'm in quarantine. Dear God.
Oh.
Dear God. Somebody help this man get some sand.
Can you have it shipped? Can you have your sand shipped? It might cost you extra, but at least you could get it.
I think you need to go down to
Amazon will ship it.
Go out in the backyard. Do something. Violate the code for the sake of your fish. You're saving your fish, after all.
Right.
It's
to do it.
It's critical. It's critical for the right. Dear God. David Samsel, thanks for the comments. You bet, David. Let's see. Here we go. James had.
Here we go.
Talking about plenums. It's just an undergravel filter. Right.
Oh, here we go.
We're back in the setting. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. It does work fine. It's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I did undergravel filters. The problem is that at some point in time, you got to clean the sucker because it gets glutted with muck and it'll glut to the surface.
Right.
And you'll start getting mulm, a lot of mulm. So it ain't a permanent. It lasts a while, lasts a good while. But at some point, you gotta break it down and clean it. Jeff Campbell. I've talked about Jeff Campbell once or twice. Jeff Campbell was one of the greats, one of the master aquarists of the 40s, 50s, and 60s. I knew him in the 60s. He was Jeff Campbell. He taught at the Putney School, taught literature, I believe, at the Putney School in Putney, Vermont, a private school, very, very high level private school, the Putney School in Putney, Vermont. There were old buildings, creaky old wooden buildings, a 1930s campus. And in his classroom, which was a ground level classroom, he had the room, all of the walls of the room. There were lots of windows. He was north facing, I believe, with windows across the entire length. This room was set up so that he stood in the middle with the length going to both sides. So it was longer than it was deep. And there were windows across the far end. He would stand at the back end of the room facing the windows. And in the windows were fish tanks. He had probably 20 fish tanks, all different sizes, but mostly larger ones, 55s to 100s or so. And, oh, excuse me. With lots of different kinds of fish in those tanks. The ones I remember especially were his uaru. He bred uaru First time I ever saw them, about 1967. Absolutely stunning fish. I was overwhelmed by them. I was thoroughly delighted to see these magnificent fish in spawning condition. But the reason I recalled this is because he used undergravel filters. Um, he had plenums with gravel on top. And I got there one day, and he had the tank broken down. He had pulled out all of the undergravel trays, and they were thick with roots from the Vallisneria that were growing in the tank. Great, huge mats of Vallisneria. And he showed me how they were growing where the mulm that was being filtered in through this gravel was the thickest, where it had composed itself into an anaerobic kind of body, where it was so thick the water was flowing around it and not through it anymore. And that's where the roots took hold. So when he cleaned it, he did not pull the roots out of the mat. He left them out of the tray. He left them in there and returned the whole thing, minus the muck. So I regret that that he never had a chance to learn how to cap that with sand. He would have been delighted and thrilled to be able to do that. He was not in touch, to my knowledge, with any other major hobbyist in the country. Now, I did run into somebody recently who was my age at the time, in his 20s, who knew Jeff and spent time with him. So there were other hobbyists that had kind of surrounded him. These masters have a way of people attaching themselves to them. Is the word neophyte? Attaching themselves to him and learning from them. And there were others. I didn't meet any others while I was with him, but there were others. I can't remember who that was, who I was talking to, but never mind. He did use undergravel filters. He was using gravel. He never took the next step, learned to take or thought to take the next step of capping it with sand in order to create a permanent kind of display. His mentality was to let it set up for 6 months to a year and then break it down, clean it out, and start it over again. So that was simply his approach to the hobby. But he certainly was a master aquarist who was able to do things that very, very few other people accomplished. He would take his waru on one day a year, his young, and he would drive them down to New York City and sell them in local pet shops in New York City once a year, and then look and try to find other remarkable fish that he could bring back. Wonderful, wonderful man.
Father Fish.
Yes.
I think we need to touch on a few things.
Go ahead.
Hold on, I'm just finishing this. Okay. Someone asked where to find your stock list. He has a store on GetGills. He also has a website. So GetGills is getgills.com is like a community store where different stores are listed, but he has a store on there where you can find things. I believe you have some items on your website. Is that true, Father Fish? And
I do. I'm not sure it's working right.
And they can always email you or call the store.
Yeah, we're gonna get that.
So GetGills for sure, and then they can always reach you. They can reach you by email, which is fatherfish@fatherfish.net.
Yep.
And also, I mean, you can always call the store and speak with him directly.
Right.
To find out what,
Yeah.
if you're looking for something specific. And then could we talk about your mugs and your membership and all of those things before we go to another question?
Yes.
And somehow I'm having a
posted.
lag with you, and I apologize. I feel like I'm talking over you, but it's lagging a little.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Okay.
I don't know why.
I just posted my phone number.
Okay, perfect. And then
Stephen Cooper, I've given you a wrench, so you now have a wrench.
He was asking about the wrench.
I know he did. Yeah.
So we can
so
tell him how to get your mug. Yep.
This is our Father Fish mug that has Thomas on the side. Thomas was our shop cat for years. Thomas passed on about 3 months ago. But we remember him fondly. The mug is available on PayPal for $25. That covers the cost of the mug and shipping. For $25, you can get your very own Father Fish mug. Just simply deposit $25 in the account Father Fish at fatherfish.net on PayPal. Make sure you include your address, and we will send you your very own Father Fish mug. We also have T-shirts that are available at Teespring, and I'm not sure if that's under the Father Fish account. I think it is. Father Fish account on Teespring. We have T-shirts. What else do we have? We have bumper stickers and stickers. Here's a bumper sticker. Father Fish Aquarium, an old time pet shop. We have those along with.
You have your algae scraper.
Algae scrapers, right?
Yeah.
We've got stickers and algae scrapers, and somewhere here I've got, and here's one, an algae scraper. Right here is an algae scraper.
There you go.
So those are all available at no charge. Simply send us an email, fatherfish@fatherfish.net, with your address, your name and address, and we will be happy to send you a little welcome kit. Also, anyone who joins receives that kit automatically. So, as a member, you get that kit, and you also receive access to Discord, our 24/7 Discord channel, which allows you to post 24 hours a day, to post pictures and other graphics, and to have long conversations with Stephen the biologist and Chevy Fish and each other and Father Fish and so forth, Thomas and whatnot. So it's a great opportunity to have that long, extended, protracted conversation with your favorite friend or commentarian.
Yeah. Father Fish, what is the website? Is it just
the website is fatherfishaquariums, plural.com. Fatherfishaquariums.com.
Okay.
We can post that link, I think.
I can't post from this device, so I can't help with the posting. I apologize.
There it is. Lady Aquatics.
Could you
Lady Aquatics,
pass out another wrench? Oh, yes, thank you. Welcome.
Lady Aquatics, yes.
Could I get you to pass out another wrench?
Yes.
To Sam Krieger at 937.
Got it.
Can you see that?
I do.
Okay. And then we got off on that stuff, and and thank you. And there was a question, and I think it might have been from Johannes. I'm not sure, and I can't scroll. I'm just going to tell you what I think he asked. He was asking about how you felt about bloodworms in general as a food, and if there was any. No, I think it was blackworms. Sorry.
Bloodworms are not
actually blackworms. I'm trying to find. Oh, bloodworms. Bloodworms, and if there was any downside to bloodworms.
Live bloodworms are no longer available unless you can collect them locally. What is available and is in the industry known as blackworms, it's a different kind of nematode. They're all nematodes. They're not real worms. They're annelids. But they're wonderful fish food. The blackworms are a little cleaner, a little easier to keep alive than the red worms or bloodworms. You can still get those red worms or bloodworms frozen. Omega 1 freezes them. There are other companies that do as well. And they're perfectly good food.
Okay, perfect.
Peter Kratz. Should I clean them all in my 30-gallon filter sump or forget about it? Yeah, I usually let a sump go until the flow slows down so much that it's really not doing much anymore. And then I'll go in and clean it. But that's simply my approach. You may not like that approach. You may want to keep it clean and working at full capacity. More power to you.
Yeah, so basically, neither way is wrong. It's how you feel about it.
Yeah, precisely. Right. Aquafunk,
how you like to do it.
Aquafunk is saying if you're trying to get the attention of someone, specifically put an @ symbol in front of their name. That allows their name to pop up. It'll highlight. We try real hard to keep up and to not miss.
We do try,
but we do miss.
But it happens, and we apologize. We do miss questions. Just a comment from Howard Van Tassel. I got some goldfish, and I forgot how destructive they can be to a sand cat. And yes, they don't go deep, but that, 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch, they will definitely disturb it on a daily basis.
Duco, where's that? 947. I'm way high in the chat here. Let me get down.
You're way higher than I am. Yeah. Oh no, there's one here.
I got it.
Oh, Duco. It says, if I may, I have one final question. I have an 8-gallon tank with a deep substrate and many plants. I am trying to breed cherry shrimp, and do you have any tips for breeding shrimp and raising up the fry?
Oh, man. I am not effective at breeding shrimp. I don't have any good advice for you. I'm sorry. I am not successful at breeding shrimp. And I assume it's because I don't maintain the proper water parameters. So I'm really a neophyte when it comes to shrimp. I don't understand how to do it. Logan's is eating and lurking.
I don't keep shrimp.
Yeah, what do you have? What are you eating, Logan's? And Midnight Lobster.
And I don't keep shrimp either, so I don't have any advice.
Thing, right.
I zoned out, didn't hear a thing. Sometimes that's better in life.
Joey.
All right, so I think we made it on that question. We're at the bottom of the chat. Yes.
Say yes.
Wait, I can't hear you. Okay, start over.
When I say Joey, say yes.
Yes.
Joey.
Is this like Simon Says?
No, I'm trying to figure out what the gap is.
There is a gap. Yeah.
Joey.
Yes.
It's about 3 seconds.
I know. That's why we're never and I'm talking over you, and I feel horrible.
We've never had that happen before.
I think it's these earphone things. Do you want me to take them out?
Try it and see.
Okay.
I doubt it. Yeah.
It might be though, because I know I keep talking over you, and I hate that.
Joey.
Hold on, I still have them in. I got it in the case so that they stop. All right, try that.
Joey.
Yes.
Joey.
Yes.
About a second and a half. That is better.
I'll just stick with this. I have something else coming that hopefully will work better. But you know,
Okay.
I tried these I Apple Store things, and there does seem to be a lag. So I'll just go with this. Sorry, it's the old way, guys.
The volume, the volume was better with the other, but
yeah,
the lag was really a problem.
it was, and I'm sorry for that.
Yeah.
So I'll go with this, and I'll just yell.
Good.
Okay.
All right.
I'll just sit back here and shout things out.
What are we doing time-wise? We got about 10 minutes.
Are we staying on for an hour and a half? We going for an hour?
Let's do an hour.
Okay.
Or we could take a break and come back.
How does it matter to me?
Let's take a break. Let's take a break and we'll come back. How's that?
Okay.
Let me get the music back up here. Because I need a break.
Yeah. I can get some more coffee.
Yeah, I'd like to ask some people about the recent changes on my channel. See if anybody's looked at it and has any feelings one way or the other about it.
All right. Well, you just asked that question, so maybe they'll put it in the chat while we're getting our coffees
Right.
and stuff.
Back in a minute.
Let's talk about fish, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about fish. Let's talk about fish. Fish.
Good morning. How are you? Uh, yeah, it's not great, but it's not terrible.
Well, you look at 500 views per video. We did 3 of them a day, 1,500 views. Something good there. We gotta do another regular video.
Yeah, I've got one in mind. I know what I want to do, and I think I've got a series in mind to be able to do something comparable to the walls thing.
Nice.
Thought I fish. Yes, indeed. Yes, yeah, just before the bridge. You bet. See you. Oh, we'll be here until 4. Okay. All right, we're back.
We're back.
Ah,
Ah,
let's see. Let me get back over.
well, I got more coffee, so that's good.
Yeah, I got more. I got more coffee. You got more coffee?
Yeah.
I got more
Um,
J Dog. See you in about an hour. That'll be good. We need to get we need to get do a little troubleshooting on the on the on the home page.
is he? He's coming. He's coming to the store.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, cool.
yeah.
Cool. There's some Danny breeding talk in here. I'm looking at that.
Yeah, Duco's talking about breeding Danny.
Yeah,
Cool.
and Nicole's talking with him about it. So that's always good stuff. And that is a good part of the chat, is that there are a lot of people in here that can help you as well, and there's a lot of discussion back and forth, and so not only informative but fun.
Right, absolutely. Here's an Duco's. She's gonna have an interesting conversation. He's talking about raising babies, and he wants to be able to make some money in it.
All right.
Good luck with that. But if you want to raise as many babies as you can, then it is absolutely critical to remove the eggs from wherever it is they're laid, or remove the parents from wherever it is they're laid, and raise the babies in a tank by themselves. That's the only way you're going to get a substantial portion of the hatch. It's got some trash in it.
I wish I could do that.
And then feed them separately. You wish you could what?
Oh, no, I'm just teasing you. Nothing. Go ahead. Keep talking. I'm being sarcastic. What a shocker, right? Not me.
You believe me, you don't want to see.
Can I address Aquafunk's question? It's directed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he's asking me if I've ever done a video on this tank, which I have, and if you would like to watch it, you have to go to my channel to watch it. And I can't drop the link, but if you look for my channel, Patrick Farm is one word, each word capitalized, and and there's more than one Patrick Farm, so you have to look for my icon. And I do have fish videos and horse videos, so you can look on there. And there's what I call the goldfish showcase video, and it's about the fish in this tank. And he asked if I'm using voodoo magic to keep it clean. No, I use an AquaClear 110 with sponges. That's how I do it. And that's a 75-gallon tank. So, anyway. So there you go. Here's my goldfish thing.
Sonia has a question. She has a cardinal tetra that she thinks has fin rot. She wants to know if she should turn the heater up slowly or just turn it higher. Turning the heat up on fin rot is not going to get rid of fin rot. In point of fact, it might very well make it worse. I just did a video following up on a conversation we had here on Friday about FINRA, you might watch the video. It'll give you some sense of what you're dealing with. Why don't you just do that, Sonia? Check out my recent videos. There's one called FINRA that we just put out on Saturday. That'll give you a lot of basic information about what you're dealing with and how to deal with it. And if you got more questions, then come on back. I'll be happy to talk with you more about it.
Yes, very nice.
Our Ember Tetras.
Yeah, I just had a question. That's it. Yeah.
Given the right conditions, every fish will breed. The question is not, are they easy to breed? The question is it easy to set up the conditions that they need in order to breed? And the answer is not necessarily. Embers can be tricky. And the reason is they're relatively new in the hobby, which means they still are retaining some of the sensitivity, genetic sensitivity that they have in the wild, which may mean that issues like pH remain important to them and may be difficult to achieve by the average aquarist. For example, there are fish from Borneo, and this is kind of an extreme example, but it makes the point. There are fish from Borneo, notably a group of labyrinth fish, gourami type fish, that require very soft, very acid water in order to be able to breed. And by soft and acid, I mean a ppm at 0 and an acid measurement of between 3 and 5. It is extraordinarily unusual for a hobbyist to be able to achieve the stable conditions that are required in order for those fish to spawn. One of the master breeders who is most effective at doing this is a man you've met here, Andres Ryan. Andres is able to get his pH down to 3.0 and hold it there. It's a chemical trick to being able to achieve it. It's something I'm not capable of doing. I've tried, and I just don't have the understanding and the discipline to be able to pull it off. But he can, and he has, as a result, been able to raise fish, to breed and raise fish that very few other people have been able to breed and raise. So Ember Tetras fall in that category. They have only been in the trade for a few years. They are being bred in captivity, but not in substantial numbers. Many of the embers that are coming into the hobby are wild caught. And so it means being able to achieve the water parameters that are consistent with their natural environment in order for them to be able to breed. It requires research to be able to do that, substantial research, learning precisely what they need, and then figuring out how to achieve it. So, are they easy to breed? If you have the right water conditions, there are. Is it easy to achieve the right conditions for them to breed? Absolutely not. It is difficult to achieve that. Can it be done? Absolutely yes. It can be done. It requires research, it requires discipline, and it requires a skill set that needs to be developed in order to be able to maintain the level of water quality that they need in order to be able to spawn. So I hope that answers the question. It at least could put you on the road to moving in a direction of being able to breed them.
Right. So you have a question from Higher Learning.
Yeah.
Father Fish, I got a 10-gallon in order to get back into the hobby. I'm going to be setting up a deep substrate as you do. My question is, have you made an itemized list with cost for such a setup?
I have a number of videos that detail exactly what I use in the substrate and how I use it. At least two of them are very recent. Some of them are older. I think my most popular video, which has 35,000 hits or so, details that it was made nearly a year ago, maybe more than a year ago. I think maybe 14 months ago. In any case, yeah, I have detailed that. Go to my channel and start searching around. You will find a number of videos that contain that and more information.
I think as far as they were also asking about an itemized list for cost, that would be a little bit difficult because things are priced differently in each area. But
well, the additive I sell additives.
Yeah.
The additives I charge $20, and it's enough to do 100 gallons. If you add to that 4 items, peat moss, potting soil, and black cow, which is a manure, a sterilized manure. Mix them up with the ingredients and then cap that with sand. So that's the fourth ingredient is sand. And the fifth, of course, is what you can buy from me. It's the supplements. You can make your own. I've listed many of them. You simply need to go online and look for it. Now, that does open up another question I wanted to get into. I've been making some changes recently to my channel and trying to set up an index of topics. I haven't put a lot in that yet, but I will, and this will be one of the things I will put in there with a title that'll say ingredients for a deep substrate. So we'll try to. I think we can alphabetize that once we get it in there. There is a command that allows us to alphabetize the videos in a given topic. So we'll try to get that going. It is at the top of the channel. I think it's second or third down. Index of topics. Not much in it yet, but as I'm able to spend more time on it, I'll get more in it and make it more valuable. So the idea of that is to be able to create an index for people to be able to go to and find a video on the topic that they're interested in.
Right. Could you hand out another wrench? Are you still in YouTube?
Yeah, Johan Martinson. Here's the noodle scratcher. The top 5 signs that a fish is feeling good and doing well. That's pretty good. That's interesting. Who you want me to give a wrench to?
Jenny Lynn at 10:05, I think. Do you see her?
Yes.
Okay. If you could do that, please.
Hello, Jenny.
And Chevy, thank you for dropping all the links. She's not feeling well today, but she's come in to drop some links and say hi.
Well, thank you, Chevy.
Appreciate that.
You're a real trooper. We
Yes,
appreciate it.
She probably heard me saying, I can't drop any links. So
Right.
here to the rescue. Thank you. And I know Brianne had tried to drop some links as well, so thank you.
Yeah, Sonia, we're back to this this fungus thing. Sonia's moved her fish to a quarantine tank. Make sure it's crystal clean. I mean, really clean.
Right.
And do not put any food in there. No food at all until you get this healed. Salt is not going to get rid of the ick or bacteria, but it will slow down the fish's metabolism, and that's a good thing. You can try. What can you try?
Well, basically, it would just be, as you said, keeping it really clean, right?
Yeah, I would treat, if it's like fin rot, take the fish out and treat it topically. Put some kind of an antibacterial.
Oh, like Neosporin?
Like Neosporin directly on the wound. It will wash off, but it'll leave a residue, and that residue will be enough to kill the bacteria. To protect it, yeah. And once that bacteria is dead, it's not going to be growing in super clean water. So you'll be in a more sterile environment at that point, and it'll have a chance to heal.
Oh, I'm just reading Duco's.
5. What was that? That was interesting.
Duco's?
Yeah, Chevy Fish.
Yeah, it says, I am wanting to set up a tank that replicates a local native river.
Yeah, got it.
My plan was to catch fish out of the wild and just keep them in room temperature. Is that possible, or is this animal abuse?
I
guess it depends on how warm your river is, right? I mean, most
no
fish are
25
a piece for them.
Yeah.
All right.
They're nice, aren't they?
Very
Yeah.
nice.
I mean, how much do you feel you'd be changing the temperature from what they're already in?
Well, here's the thing. If your house temperature is comparable to the temperature, the ambient temperature in the environment in which you're living, then you are maintaining a temperature comparable to the temperature of the water in which the fish is living. Let me try to say that in a less confusing way.
Okay.
All right. Unless you are trying to keep your house temperature at a tropical temperature, living in a temperate zone, if you're trying to do that, then you've got a problem. But if you're trying to maintain a temperature that is the same as the temperature outside when it is comfortable outside, as opposed to frigid or steamy hot, then you're okay, because you're in the range that the fish is used to living in. In order to maintain fish in an aquarium, it is exceedingly complicated to try to duplicate the natural temperature that exists in the body of water in which that fish lives in the wild. You would have to have some kind of a computerized system that would allow the temperature to fluctuate on a daily basis. It is unrealistic to try to achieve that. Therefore, set a temperature. I recommend 82 degrees, 85 degrees for fish that require a warmer temperature. If it is a temperate zone fish, such as live here in Florida, I don't do heaters at all. I just let it go to whatever the temperature is in the room. In the summer, it'll get hot, but in the summer, it gets hot in Florida. So it's not going to be a temperature that will be different from what they were otherwise used to. Charlene, thank you. So the answer that's a long answer to a short question. So the answer is, I don't know whether it's yes or no.
Well, I mean, they're basically asking that,
Yes.
keep
Is
it in
it
that
possible to do this? Yes.
Yes.
Is it animal abuse?
Right.
No.
No. Right.
Okay.
2 questions.
So yes and no.
Yes and no.
So yes, it is possible to do it. You can do it with your regular room temperature.
Yeah.
And no, it's not animal abuse. Now, if you're taking a fish out of the water in the dead of winter and bringing it into your house in the fish tank, then it needs to go through a bit of acclimation. Take your time doing that. Give it a few days to adjust. Maybe put it in a cold room in your house first, or on a porch where it'll be a little bit warmer, and then move it in to the point where after 2 or 3 days it'll be in your room temperature in your house, adjusted to 70 to 75 degrees as opposed to the 30 or 40 degrees it was in outdoors, if that helps.
So you have kind of a interesting, I think it might be a fun question from Johannes. He says, Father Fish, top 5 signs that fish are doing good and doing well.
Yeah, I was hoping we'd get back to that.
Yeah.
I like the question. That's
It's
a lot
good
of
question.
Yeah, and let's all chime in on this, because it's something all of us are going to have a different
Absolutely.
feeling about.
If I chime
But
in,
pick one. Everybody pick one. Pick the one most important.
yeah.
What would it be for you, Joey?
Well, I'm just going to use this tank as an example because people can see it. I would say for me, these fish are swimming around. They're happy. And in my case, they spawn on a regular basis. I do
Okay, that's 3. Pick one. That's 2.
They're swimming around.
Swimming around. Okay. Very good. Let's see what else we got here.
Yeah.
Let's get some other ideas. What is the single most important factor in assessing your fish's happiness in the tank? Name one. I know what mine is.
Okay.
Let's see. SHOAL. I just set up a tank, 1/2 inch soil, 3-inch sand. Some places it's 1.5 inch soil. Have nitrite snails. Do I vacuum clean the sand or do water changes from the top? You do not need to vacuum clean the sand at all. All of that mulch should sift down into it. Water changes, yeah, from the top, but only do water changes when it's called for, and it'll be called for if you get a significant rise in nitrates, for example. Oreo, Father and Joey, what are you guys? Is it favorite 3 fish to sit back and watch? I jumped down here.
Okay.
We had that blue arrow blocking the word. Here it is. Okay, we got the 5 signs people that fish are doing well.
Thank you, Graham Co-op, and hello. Cop is here. Graham Cop is here. And my mug is
mainly Patrick mainly wants to know if you've been to Vance's.
I just answered that question. I've never even heard of that store, so let me know. Let me know what you see when you go.
In Bucksport.
Bucksport.
Okay, Handpan says if they're breeding, they're happy.
Oh,
Johan says if they breed.
Yep. Battlebrew says healthy appetite. We get a lot of they're swimming about.
One wanderer at Sonia would think the missing fin is the wound caused from the bacteria damaging the fin. So that's where you would treat. Yep, good. Very good.
Jean says if they're swimming about, fish are actively exploring tank. Yep. Spawning behavior.
Taylor says if it's hungry, it's healthy.
Yep. What else do I see? I'm gonna scroll back up. I'm gonna try to get back to the beginning.
Chevy says they're active, spawning and breeding, not hiding all the time. That's a good one, Duco.
I was gonna say I saw that one. That's a good one. Yes. Well, they're all good. They're all
Duco
good.
that they're hungry, always foraging, breeding, activity, hungry, healthy appetite, swimming about. Where did the aquarium cop? Hunting around, pecking around, not rushing to the top. In short, they ignore you and go about their lives. That's really, I like that, cop. That's really good. That means they're not trained. They're not training you or trained to respond to you to get food every time you walk in the room. That's pretty good. RG Fish Keeping.
Let's see. Mainly better. Okay, thanks. Looks like a good store. If I make the trip. Yeah, let me know because there aren't many LFSs in this state. Like maybe two.
Vibrant color. It's a good one. Vibrant color, not too dull. Good sign of a healthy fish.
A very good
Absolutely, Ashu.
Yeah.
Waxworm spikes and wigglers. Good food for my fish. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Winking fish. Winking fish.
Oh boy, we've had a few people come in here.
What is Rohan saying? He's saying winking fish are happy fish.
I don't know what winking.
I assume that's a typo, but I don't. I don't know what it's a typo.
I definitely want to know what a winking fish is.
Really?
Because
the color of fish, ultra? Yes. Let's see.
Oh, we've had a bunch of new people come in.
Hi, Wanderer says, watching your tank. That's really critical, Wanderer. You're absolutely right. It's not the fish so much, it's you keeping an eye on them.
Yeah. And I think did somebody ask a question about what you and I like to watch? The fish we like?
Yeah, they did. What's yours? Obvious.
Well, mine clearly are my goldfish.
Your goldfish.
I have angels and stuff, but this is my number one fish to watch. I love them.
For me, it depends on what's happening. If the fish are spawning, I love to watch them spawn.
Sure. Yeah.
You
only get one choice. I'm giving you a hard time. You get one choice. No.
Okay, my one choice is spawning fish.
That's a good one. It is a good one. No, you can have as many choices as you want. I'm just giving you a hard time because it's fun.
I know you. That's as your want. Okay, how are we doing here? Oh, mainly Betta's number one favorite is yo-yo loaches. That's cool.
They are fun fish.
Busy little bees, aren't they? All of the loaches are.
Oreo says corridors wink at you. LOL. Maybe they do. Yeah, so is everybody putting their favorite fish choice in now? We had the number one thing, a sign of health. Now
Grizzlos and Corys can wink, Nicole says.
Cute.
Okay.
So is everybody picking their favorite fish to watch?
Corys wink at you.
Why
Watching your tank so you know what is normal for your fish. Wanderer, very good, Wanderer. Yeah, observing your tank, being observant, just spending time watching. And Gene Campbell can't choose.
Well, I mean, I get it. It's hard sometimes to choose, but just getting back to that statement, watching your fish. That's you and I've talked about that a lot lately. And when you watch your fish, then when you walk into the room, you can immediately tell if something's not right. If you know your fish, you 100% would know if there's something wrong in your tank.
Right, exactly. Jason, completely off topic. How do you feel about people who play the forbidden riff in a guitar store? I just ran into that a few weeks ago, where I was watching somebody who was demoing guitars, and they started playing the so-called forbidden riff, and they got shut down each time. I don't know what that is, or I don't know the background to that. Could somebody tell me what the background to the forbidden riff is? Joey doesn't know.
I don't know. I'm not an expert on that.
What is the forbidden riff and why? Jason, you bring it up.
You've opened up a can of worms.
You had best know.
And now,
RG, my favorite fish is the Episto. And I got jumped back down so I can't find it. Episto Borelli Blue. Nice fish.
Well, you've got
sparkling.
D.D. Davison's asking you, did Father pick his number one sign of happiness?
And a number of other people picked it. Hungry. If the fish is hungry, it's healthy.
Yep.
So that's my number one, a hungry fish.
Johans would like to know about you personally. He says top 5 signs that Father Fish is happy and doing well.
Oh,
now
Lord.
We're getting crazy, kids.
The algorithm taking hold and watching my views and memberships soar through the stratosphere. That makes me happy.
There you go.
It's happened twice. Most recently about a week or two ago. And prior to that in May of last year. We're now on a downward slide, so we're trying to stop the slide. But I think it'll still be at a level higher than it was before, so that's a good sign. So what makes me happy is succeeding at doing this craziness. Because it ties into so many other things in my life. So
well, you definitely enjoy YouTube. There's no question. You enjoy.
I do. I absolutely
love the interaction with people and the questions.
Yeah.
So there's no question about that.
So Balm, Brattle Brew, and Imre van Balgui.
Woo!
Balm, Battle Brew, and Imre van Balgui. I guess I've got to give him a wrench each. I don't know.
Well, he's been here before.
All 3?
Well, Balgui has been here before. And I think, I'm not sure about Bomb, but I mean, it's your channel. You want to pass out wrenches, you pass out wrenches. That's what you like to do. You like to turn everybody blue.
Ashu Chola.
I mean, think about how happy it makes
fish a month ago. I think if you can look at your tank and not stress about 5 million things, that's a pretty good, Ashu, pretty good. You got a wrench for that one.
Yeah, that's a pretty good day. Yeah.
Ashu Chola. I've only started keeping fish a month ago. And I think if you can look at your tank and not stress about 5 million things, that's a happy fish tank. God bless you, Ashu. And amen to that.
Absolutely.
Emilio, Father Fish is hungry If he's hungry, he's happy. That may or may not be.
Yeah, I don't think that equates to me. Hungry all the time.
Let's see.
Don't show me food.
Oh, Duco says, isn't it funny how some people's fish choices represent their personality? I
Well,
dare
that's
say it's like dog choices, you know. People have dogs that reflect their personality. Making a video ultramagnetic to challenge Diana Wallstead to a deep sand bed would be cool. Yeah, I don't know. I have a funny feeling about that comment made in her name. Father Fish. Yeah, we'll be here until 4. Thank you. Yeah, there was a comment about a month ago from a poster identified as Diana Wallstead, saying that she lost me when I talked about capping the sand because it might cause a problem. I went back and I looked at that channel. It was created about 7 years ago. Had no content at all, and about, I don't remember how many, maybe 150 subscribers. No content. And the more I responded, I hope with kindness. But the more I thought about it, the more I felt like that was not Diana Wallstead. Number one, she would not, I believe, simply dismiss something out of hand because it might cause a problem. That would not be a particularly scientific reaction.
Maybe.
Maybe. I mean, it just, the way it was worded led me to believe that she was dismissing what I'm doing because it might cause a problem. Well, it might, but then again, it might not. So whether it does or not is really the issue. And a good scientist would examine that question to determine whether or not it did cause a problem and what it did in effect create. So I did not get any kind of satisfaction in my mind that this was the kind of response that a consummate scientist would respond with. So I left a comment on the community page on that channel questioning whether in fact that was in fact who they claim it was. And I've not heard anything back. I've also not heard anything back about my comment. Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
And you may not. You may not.
And I may not. Right.
Yeah. So you've had, just to be funny, you've had a lot of people commenting that if you're hungry, you're healthy. If Father Fish is hungry, he's healthy.
Well, I'm trying to be. I'm on a keto diet. I have been for about 3 weeks now. I've lost about 5 pounds. I'm trying to lose 40 pounds. I'm trying to get down to 200. I was at 240, so I'm approaching 230 now. I'm maybe 6-7 pounds down. And I'm trying to do a non-carb diet. I mess up minor. I've eaten an apple every day for the last 3 days, and I got to stop doing that because apples have a lot of sugar in them. So, but my blood sugar has been okay in the morning, so that's been all right.
Good.
In any case,
so you have.
So I'm not going to challenge Diana Wallstead directly until I have some good reason to do so, and thus far I don't.
Absolutely. So do you want to do one last question?
One last question.
Well, I'm assuming because it's 10:35. I don't know how long you want to go.
No, let's. We can wrap it up. Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, Father Fish, what fish do you sell? I'm just gonna. So.
Do your
Oreo
customers buy the most? Is that the one?
Which one do you sell most often in the store? Basically, what is the most
Yeah.
popular fish that you sell?
What fish do your customers buy the most?
Yeah.
Gee whiz, that's a good question.
It is.
I don't know. I mean, I really don't know because different people buy different fish.
What?
I mean,
Okay.
there's some people, like all the young guys, they want big predators.
Yeah, they
I've
do.
got to keep big predators in for them. Shovel-nosed catfish, red-tailed cats, clown knives,
Right.
all the stuff that gets 5 foot long and eats people. That's what they want.
So can I switch the question around a little?
Sure.
Let's say instead of which one do you sell the most, what are the top 5 fish you order?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I really don't know.
Okay.
I sell, when I have them, I sell angels. I sell a lot of angels. When I have them, I sell guppies. I don't always have them. I run out of both of those pretty routinely. Probably I sell more, that my big cichlid tank, you've seen pictures of that. I probably sell more fish out of that tank than any other tank, probably. I'll sell at least 2 or 3 fish almost every day out of that tank. So probably I would say African cichlids. Not a fish I'm enamored of particularly. And I don't make a serious effort to keep lots of varieties of them. I try to get some real pretty ones in, like the OB peacocks, because they sell well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I sell a lot of African cichlids. And I guess for new people, it's a big, pretty fish. You can keep it in a big tank and get a bunch of them. They're not hidey little things. They're not tiny little fish. They're 4, 5, 6 inches long. You can have 20 of them in a 55. Yeah, and I guess that's what makes it popular. And they're colorful and active.
Well, and especially if you just keep a tank of all males, you don't typically have too many problems with them in a big group.
Holly, hello.
Yes.
Nice to see you.
Jason. Yeah, all of a sudden there's a whole bunch of people coming in here.
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone.
Imre likes the Heterandria formosa. It's a delightful little fish. Really delightful little fish. I've got 2 others that are also local that I like. The pygmy sunfish and the little local pupfish. And I've got some of each of those right now. So hoping this spring to get them breeding. An apple donut. Battle brew wants me to eat an apple donut. I may have to take Battle Brew's wrench away. Try to tempt me with an apple donut. God, what a scrumptious pastry. I don't dare. I don't dare. Not even a bite.
I know.
Not even a bite.
It's so hard sometimes, isn't it?
Jenny Lynn wants to know where I am. I'm in my office at my shop, which is called Father Fish Aquarium, and it's located on Venice Avenue, just before the bridge in Venice, Florida, half an hour south of Sarasota, an hour, 15 minutes south of Bradenton, 15 minutes south of Parrish, half an hour south of Tampa, on the coast. I'm on the west coast of the East Coast.
Yes.
I've been here for 30 years, trying to get out, trying to get away, and I finally have found something worth leaving it for. So more about that later. Thank you all so much for plugging in. Do I ship to Europe? Only dry goods and not dirt. I cannot ship anything that customs would preclude me from shipping, and I'm not willing to go through the process of getting a veterinarian certificate to ship fish.
No.
So I don't do that. But I will ship mugs and stuff like that.
Perfect.
Jenny Lynn is in Ocala, so it'd be nice to have you visit.
Oh,
Long
yeah.
drive. We had people we had 3 different parties in on Saturday who drove a minimum of 2 hours to get here. Each of whom found us on our YouTube channel, so that was pretty nice.
I mean, if I had a store that interested me, I would drive 2 or 3 hours to go to it. Absolutely, I would.
James Handy is off to decapsulate brine shrimp eggs. Good job, go for it, James.
What a morning! Yeah.
All right.
There's nothing like brine shrimp in the morning.
That'll be funny. Yep, a brine shrimp morning. Well, thank you all. It's delightful as ever being here with you. We did
a couple fun things today, different things. It was fun.
Yeah, we played a couple of games.
Yeah.
That's good. All right, so here we are. Here we are. And bless you all. Nice to be with you. Bye for now. See you in the morning, bright and early, 9 o'clock. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Say goodbye, Joey.
Bye-bye. Bye, y'all.
Yeah. Yes.
The puppy's got to come say goodbye. My babies.
They are.
Wow, they're all clipped up. They're all body clipped, and they had haircuts.
Thank you all. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye, everyone.
See you in the morning.